realized our goals were too different. For example, my goals were for us to get married and have children. By stark contrast, her goal was for me to
go away!
Before a man and woman get married, they usually have a strong relationship base to start from.
Relationships can be both fun and stressful. A lasting relationship usually requires a lot of work and maintenance. With help from Derek Gamba, Andrew Barkoukas, Derek Whittier,
Dave Barry, Chris Rock, Jay Seinfeld,
Sarah Burkott, and Kimberly Kerberger,
let's take a look at the joys and pains of relationships. From the time we were kids,
girls are gross!
boys have cooties.
Okay, from the time we were young teenagers to adults, the search for a meaningful relationship is a difficult one. We must contend with the obvious differences between boys and girls, communication barriers between the sexes, and the simple search for someone who is compatible.
At times it's humorous, and other times dramatic.
Let's play the relationship game!
Okay, listen up.
Women have powers far beyond those of mortal men.
A woman left a message on my phone machine the other day with a kind of breathy voice, and no matter what a woman says, if it's in that breathy voice, it sounds so appealing. A stewardess could lean over, whisper in my ear,
Would you put on your seatbelt? We're about to crash into a mountain.
and I would go, really? So, what are you doing later? What do you say we for peanuts over by the black box? I'll bring the cushions.
Okay, listen up.
This is the most important thing to know before getting involved. Relationships are very simple. Only two things can happen. You get married or you break up.
Chances are, you're gonna break up.
That's right. Chances are you're going to break up with the person you're with right now. You have one at home flipping the channels while you watch this? So get a good look. This might be it. Why? Because at some point that person's going to say something just a little too ignorant for you.
What team did Malcolm X play for?
What the?
Or they'll do something you just can't overlook. For some people it's stepping over a dirty sock. Or suddenly admitting over breakfast that they were once accused of killing their former spouse. But Johnny Cochran got them a not guilty verdict. Whenever the person does that thing, it registers right away as something you cannot live with for the rest of your life.
When a relationship is over, a man will do a double take, shake his head, pack up, and sneak out before daylight. He'll run out to the snow wearing no slippers. He just wants out.
Not a woman. Women don't tell you it's over. First they end it in their heads. Only later do they end it in words. There are three phases.
First, she has to check it out with her girlfriends, especially the one girlfriend who can't stand you because she sees through you and knows every lie you told, even before your woman knows it.
Next, she has to think it over, survey it, test it out. What will the repercussions be if we break up? Will my rent still get paid? What about my tuition? Can I still eat out?
Finally, she has to find a new man. She has to locate him and make sure it works. Then she'll go to you with some sad story.
You know, I've been trying to communicate with you for a while and it's not working. I really think that we need to get... I think we should see new people.
Meanwhile, her new man's outside in the car, blowing the horn, yelling,
Come on, come on. The movie starts at 9.
Okay, listen up.
what would the world be like if people said whatever they were thinking all the time, whenever it came to them? How long would a blind date last?
About 13 seconds, I think.
Oh, sorry. Your rear end is too big.
That's okay. Your breath stinks anyway. See you later.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Tonight is the night. My choice is a beautiful red rose. I find myself parked in the driveway. I take a deep breath and pull myself out of the car. leaving the rolls in the back seat, promising myself I'll return for it later. The doorbell rings as I nervously press it. The door opens.
Hello, Derek.
Hi, Miss Johnson. Is Lauren home?
Hey, Derek, what's up?
Can I talk to you outside for a minute? We take seats in the front stoop. So, are you going out with Kevin?
I think so.
I knew Kevin would eventually hurt her. I knew what I had to do. He doesn't deserve you, Lauren.
Why do you say that?
Because, look, I like you, Lauren. I like you a lot.
Well, Kevin's funny and sweet. He's not that bad.
What just happened? I proclaimed my love to her. I just told the girl in my dreams that I like her. Did she hear me? Crushed, I knew I had to leave. I had to get out of there. I revealed something that's been tormenting me for days. Now my entire body feels like it's shriveling up in embarrassment. The next day while I'm in my car, I remembered the rose I'd left there the day before. This beautiful red rose is now transformed into a black, stiff, thorny twig. I hold it in my hands for a few moments. A tear rolls down my cheek. I realize I've done the right thing. Although I didn't get the response I'd hoped for, I've learned an invaluable lesson. You can't make someone love you. You can only make yourself someone who can be loved.
Okay, listen up.
Being blown off is bad.
Not getting the hint is worse.
When a woman puts you off, you have to move on. Go cold turkey. I know you still want to reach out and you just can't help it. But one of the surest ways to debase yourself, and one of the saddest things, is to keep calling all the time trying to create a coincidence. Beep boop 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 beep beep beep. Brrr, brrr.
Hi.
Happy Arbor Day! I was just thinking about you.
Click. Beep boop 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 beep beep beep. Brrr, brrr.
Hello?
I was just drinking water and remembered there's water at your house.
Click. Beep boop 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 beep beep beep. Brrr, brrr.
Yes?
It's Sherman Helmsley's birthday. I thought I'd call.
Click. Beep boop 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 beep beep beep. Brrr, brrr.
What now?
I was looking up at the sky and noticed it's blue. And I remembered you have a blue shirt. I thought I'd check in.
Slam.
Okay, listen up.
Women need to like the job of the guy they're dating. If they don't like the job, they don't like the guy.
Men know this, which is why we make up the phony bogus names for the jobs that we have. Right now, I'm the regional management supervisor. I'm in development, production, consulting.
Men, on the other hand, if they are physically attracted to a woman, are not that concerned with her job.
We'll just go. Really? Slaughterhouse? Is that what you work? That sounds great. So, what do you have? A big cleaver and just lop their heads right off? That sounds great. Listen, why don't you shower up and we'll catch a movie?
Okay, listen up.
Contrary to what many women believe, it is fairly easy to develop a long-term, stable, intimate, and mutually fulfilling relationship with a guy. Of course, this guy has to be a Labrador Retriever. With human guys, it is extremely difficult. This is because guys don't really grasp what women mean by the term relationship. Let's say this guy named Roger is attracted to a woman named Elaine. They see each other regularly, and after a while, neither of them is seeing anyone else. And then one night, as they're driving home, a thought occurs to Elaine. And without really thinking, She says it aloud.
Do you realize that as of tonight, we've been seeing each other for exactly 6 months?
And then there's a silence in the car. To Elaine, this is a very loud silence. She thinks to herself,
Geez, I wonder if it bothers him that I said that. Maybe he's feeling confined by our relationship. Maybe he thinks I'm trying to put him into some sort of obligation that he doesn't want or isn't sure of.
and Roger's thinking,
Gosh, 6 months?
and Elaine is thinking,
But hey, I'm not sure I'm ready for this kind of relationship either. Sometimes I wish I had a little more space so I'd have time to think about whether I really want this relationship to keep going the way it is steadily towards. I mean, where are we going? Are we just going to keep seeing each other at this level of commitment? Are we headed towards marriage? Towards children? Towards a lifetime together? Am I ready for that level of commitment? Do I really even know this person?
and Roger's thinking,
So that means it was, let me see, February when we started going out, which is right after I had the car at the dealers. Let me check the odometer. Woo! I'll way overdue for an oil change here.
and Elaine is thinking,
He's upset. I can see it on his face. Maybe I'm reading this completely wrong. Maybe he wants more from our relationship. More intimacy, more commitment. Maybe he has sensed, even before I sensed it, that I was feeling some reservations. Yes, I bet that's it. That's why he's so reluctant to say anything about his own feelings. He's afraid of being rejected.
and Roger's thinking,
I'm gonna have to look at the transmission again. I don't care what those morons say. This thing still isn't shifting right. And they better not try to blame it on the cold weather this time. What cold weather? It's 87 degrees out. And I pay those incompetent thieves $600.
and Elaine is thinking,
He's angry, and I don't blame him. I'd be angry too. I feel so guilty putting him through this, but I can't help the way I feel. I'm just not sure.
and Roger's thinking,
They'll probably say it's under the 90-day warranty. That's exactly what they're gonna say. Those stubborns!
and Elaine is thinking,
Maybe I'm being too idealistic, waiting for a knight to come riding up on a white horse, when I'm sitting right next to a perfectly good person, a person I care about, a person I truly enjoy being with, a person who is in pain because of my self-centered romantic fantasy.
and Roger's thinking,
They want a warranty? I'll give them a warranty. I'll stick their warranty right up there.
Roger?
What?
Please don't torture yourself like this. I know there's no knight. It's silly. There's no knight and there's no horse.
There's no
You
horse?
think I'm a fool, don't you?
No.
says Roger, glad to finally know the correct answer.
I just need some time.
Elaine turns and gazes deeply into his eyes, causing him to become very nervous about what she might say next, especially if it involves a horse. At last, she speaks.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
He takes her home, and when Roger gets back to his place, a tiny voice in the far recesses of his mind tells him something major is going on back there in the car. But he's pretty sure he'll never understand what, so he decides it's better not to think about it. This is also Roger's policy regarding world hunger. The next day, Elaine will call her closest friend, or perhaps two of them, and they will discuss this situation for 6 straight hours. In painstaking detail, they will analyze everything she said and everything he said, going over every word, expression, and gesture for nuances of meaning, considering every possible ramification. They will continue to discuss the subject off and on for weeks, maybe months, never reaching any definite conclusions, but never getting bored with the subject either. Meanwhile, Roger, while playing racquetball one day with a mutual friend of his and Elaine's, will pause just before serving, frown, and say,
Norm, did Elaine ever on a horse?
Just 1 week earlier, we had watched the sunset and held each other. There were nights he cried himself to sleep, remembering the harsh words of his mother. He dreaded the weekends with her because she blamed him for everything that went wrong. She said he was dumb and wasn't the son she wanted him to be. She called him a loser, a disappointment to her. What kept him alive, he told me, was our love. Friends for years and now dating, he needed me. In one letter, he said,
"You're like family. Just you. Do you need anyone else? I don't. Just keep loving me, and I'll be okay."
For a while, I believed him. I thought that if I held him tightly enough, his pain would disappear. Our relationship was like a roller coaster. Sometimes he was the happiest kid I knew. But if he was sad, he didn't joke. He said things he knew were cruel, apologizing the next day. The cycle never ended. The cruelties, the apologies. Yet I knew why. Though I loved him, I couldn't take away his pain. It stemmed from events that occurred long before I knew him. And soon I realized that my love couldn't take away his pain. I had to let him go. I told him this couldn't continue, that he would have to face his worst fear, to be alone and confront the demons within him. He thought I lied, that I deceived him when I whispered the word forever. But I hadn't lied to anyone but myself because I thought that all he needed was my love. And now my love was only causing pain. Yesterday, I saw him for the first time in a year. His darkness is lifting because he allowed other people into his life. People who could do more for him than I ever could have done on my own. Yesterday, I realized that even perfect love can't protect someone from themselves. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for someone is to let them go.
Okay, listen up.
If you're a woman and you want to have a successful relationship with a guy, the number one tip to remember is
Never assume that the guy understands that you and he have a relationship.
the guy will not realize this on his own. You will have to constantly plant the idea in his brain by making subtle references in your everyday conversation, such as,
Wake up! There's a problem in the den, and we have a relationship! Oh, you and I do, I mean.
good news, the gynecologist says we're going to have our fourth child, which will serve as yet another indication that we have a relationship.
As its plane is crashing, I would probably only have a minute to live. I want you to know that we've had a wonderful 53 years of marriage together, which clearly constitutes a relationship. Why guys like girls?
They always smell good, even if it's just their shampoo.
The way our heads always find the right spot on your shoulder.
The way they kiss you, and all of a sudden, everything seems right in the world.
The way we take hours to dress, but in the end, oh, it's all worthwhile.
The way they look good, no matter what they wear. Dear girl, I think it's time for me to have a girlfriend. I know you're out there somewhere. Don't worry, I'll find you. And when I do, I hope that you'll love me because I'm Derek, and not because I'm Mike's younger brother. I hope you won't be embarrassed when my clothes don't match, or be annoyed when I want to watch ESPN instead of Party of Five. I hope that you remember that I play soccer and not football, and that I play midfield and not defense. I will constantly act strong and in control, but inside, I'm actually lost and confused. Just don't tell my friends. Please understand that loving each other means being together, but not all of the time. We should never bail on our friends. Also, understand at times that may act jealous or overly protective, but only because I have insecurities, and not that you're doing anything wrong. And if we fall out of love with one another, please don't hate me. And if I cry in front of you, please don't laugh at me. After all, I am a boy. Please know that I am sensitive, in a manly tough kind of way. And no, you aren't fat, so don't constantly ask. You don't need makeup either. Oh, and if you cut your hair and I don't notice, don't be upset. I will love you in a t-shirt and Levi's. I hope you don't think I'm asking too much of you. I just want to be happy, making you happy. I'm coming to find you, so don't go anywhere. Stay where you are, wherever you are. And by the way, my name's Derek. Yours always, Derek.
Why guys like girls?
They always fish for compliments.
The way we say, let's not fight anymore, even though you know an hour later.
The way their tears make you want to change the world, so it doesn't hurt them anymore.
The way we hit you and expect it to hurt.
The way they fall into your arms when they cry.
Why girls like guys.
The way they run their fingers through your hair.
The way they get mad when they can't make your problem go away.
The way they make it their personal mission to ensure that you're never cold.
The way they let you win any game you play together.
And when you point this out to them, they pretend to not know what you're talking about. Dear boy, I don't know who you are or where and when we will meet, but I do hope it's soon. I pray that when we meet and fall in love, you will love me for me and not hope for someone who is thinner or prettier. I hope you won't compare me to girls who may have brighter smiles. I hope you will make me laugh, take care of me if I get sick, and be trustworthy. I hope you will remember that I prefer daisies to roses, and that my favorite color changes with my mood. Please know that my eyes aren't blue. They're gray, with flecks of navy. Please know that I might be too shy to kiss you first, but please don't be afraid to kiss me. I won't slap you or push you away. I'm sure your kisses will be perfect. When we go on a date, please don't stress about where to take me. What's important is that I'll be with you. If I cry, please know that it isn't because of you. Just hold me close and I'll heal quickly. And if it is because of you, I'll heal just the same. And if we decide to break up, please understand that I may be bitter, but I'd like to be your friend if you'll let me. I promise to remember that you have feelings too, even though you'll never admit it. And when you're ready, we'll have a friendship. I hope you don't think that I'm asking too much of you. I hope you understand that I'm a little bit nervous and very scared. I wish I could tell you how or when we will meet, and if we'll be in love forever. Every relationship is a new game of cards, and I've never been good at cards, but I will try my best to be kind and love you dearly for all that you are, without expecting too much from you. Thank you for listening. This is all that I ask. Yours always, Sarah.
Why girls like guys.
The way they call to apologize after you've had a big fight.
The way they touch and hold you so gently, as if they are afraid they will break you.
The way they write you love letters even though they think it's uncool.
The way they hold you when you are crying.
The way they say,
I love you.
All by myself, I don't want to be all by myself anymore. All by myself, I don't want to be all by myself anymore.
That's good.
Breaking boxes?
It's 25:30.
Well,
Do they count seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we'll go 30 seconds faster of nerves.
Yeah, I agree.
But see, another thing is, if it's like, I'm hoping if you guys are able to do well, and if you're able to make it to finals, my senior year, my junior year when we did it, they laughed for like 30 seconds at one part, you know?
Yeah.
So, I'd like to account for some, I'd like to have some cushion here. I think you will go faster. You probably would have went 25 minutes, but, only thing I can remember notes-wise, when you say the thorn, you did the good gesture, but you need to say it more poignant. You cannot make someone love you. You can only make yourself someone who can be loved. Try to slow the end down. You kind of said it kind of fast.
He's talking to you.
I heard him. He said it yesterday.
No, I said gesture yesterday. I said slow down today. What else? Oh, you did put emphasis on maybe months, but you put the wrong emphasis. You put like they're stupid, you know, like they're stupid for doing that. You want to more from their perspective, like
They need that much time, maybe months.
yeah, kind of like you're making fun. You are making fun of them, but
Maybe months?
it's like you.
I really can't tell. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, like that. Maybe months. So you were kind of you said it kind of frustrated, like maybe months, like you have to listen to it. You don't have to listen to it. You just know about it.
That's just.
Brandon,
Oh yeah, seriously.
you need to have bigger gestures when you come out.
I thought I had a big.
I was watching, there are no gestures. You do not need to be animated, but you need to have gestures. There's a difference. When you come out and don't say anything, and I had to let him go,
Yeah.
I want to see your hand up high, and you have to exaggerate it. So mainly what I want to see is I want to see a hand up high. How are you? Wait, I'm fine. Gesture. And then after there, you can do the ad-libbing. What you did today,
I thought that was too much for. I'm thinking that was too much for me just coming out of rehab, and that's my ex, and so I'm thinking that was too much being
You
too
were like in
forward.
rehab. You didn't have a drug problem. You just had to go to like therapy.
Oh, I thought that was too much of being too forward.
no, you know this person, someone that you've
Yeah.
known for years and now
Like
dating.
if I saw you in a year.
I don't want you to be happy, and I don't want you to be like this, but I do need to see a gesture. And it's very important that we do that because you're making a statement when you come out. You've been sitting this whole scene, well, except for the beginning. You sat down, right? Now you come out. You've got to do something. There's got to be a reason you come out. And if you're just kind of ad-libbing, not really drawing enough tension to yourself, it's going to look awkward. You know what I mean?
As if I came up in the wrong topic.
Exactly, like you didn't know what, like you made a mistake. So you have a purpose of being up. You are acting out the story she's talking about. So you need, again, a big gesture, high, and exaggerate because you're not going to be speaking. So you need to exaggerate it more so the audience knows what you're saying. Hi, how are you?
That looks like she's deaf or slow.
Well,
Hi.
well, that's because I'm saying it. You're not going to say it. Here's how you would do it. And that'll look fine. Trust me. If it looks bad, I'll let you know. I can see. I have a better eye than you guys do. You guys are doing it, so you can't see it. So I can see it. And my mind told me you weren't doing enough. It was a really good. She sets it up really good, so you need to finish it. You know what I mean? You have the ability to help finish the scene off strong or weak. So we want it to be strong. So again, all you need to think, there's just three steps. The first step is the high. Gesture and mouth it more than you normally would. High, step one. Then you wait. Step two is I'm fine. And gesture when you're doing that. And then the third, then you can ad-lib like you have been. Just kind of react or whatever. But the first two gestures need to be big. Hi, I'm fine.
I think it needs to go on the list of things before we start.
Pardon me?
I think that needs to go on the list of things we start practicing.
Oh yeah, I do too. Let's see, that was it. Your two poignant scenes. I wanted you to be more poignant.
What?
I'm just reviewing the notes. That's all I could remember. There wasn't anything else that really stood out. What were some lines that were messed up?
My dear girl, I think it was, please know I'll constantly strong and control. Sorry. Like around there, I lost my place.
Oh yeah. Don't lose. There's really, if you think about it, there's no excuse for that because it's in front of you. So if you have to look at it. You know.
I know. I looked up and I didn't know what came because a lot of times I know what comes next, but in that case I didn't know, and I looked down to find my place, and
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. And I tried to add.
But it seemed to keep going. It didn't seem like one spot. It seemed like the whole thing was like that. You know what I mean?
Oh no, there was
Heck
one part.
no.
No, there was one part that he had. I could tell. I was like,
That
he
was
lost his
too
place.
obvious.
I was like, he lost his place.
Right. There was one place you lost your place, but it's the overall theme. It seemed to be a little too herky jerky.
My suggestion for that would be like in one of your hands that you don't like gesture with, like have your thumb right next to the line that you're on and have it go down.
Yeah, that would be pretty easy to do.
That's what I would do.
Let's whip out your scripts, your props, put them up here, please, so we can see if there's any parts to cut in the speeches.